Well, hello again. This time I'm going to be talking to Consol, sitting here next to me. Hello, Consol. Consol has been in the school since we opened. Eddie started back in 2000. So it's 17 years working together, side by side. And well, today I'm going to be asking her some questions related to the school and to teaching. Consol, why did you decide to become a teacher?
Well, I started teaching many years ago. I was a teenager, and in fact I didn't decide becoming a teacher at that time. I decided it when you asked me, or you offered me to give some classes here at Teddy, as long as I got the CELTA course. So it was then when I really thought deeply about whether become a teacher or not. And well, in the end I went for it.
And what qualifications did you get? What kind of... Well, you mentioned the CELTA.
Yes.
So
yes.
Well, maybe you could first start talking about that, about the CELTA.
Okay. I did the CELTA some years ago. I did it in Barcelona. I was a bit scared about it because I know it's a tough course, and it was during my holidays, so it meant no holidays that year.
Yes, because if I remember well, it's like it's not a 24-hour thing, but you start early in the morning, you finish late in the evening, and then you have all these activities and work to do at home as well.
Yes, several projects. I don't remember. I remember that I didn't remember if I had lunch or not. Maybe I just slept 4 hours because it was really hard for me. For me, it was hard, to write the projects and the writing sometimes. But I was quite shocked when I realized that all the other teachers there, we were 20 teachers doing the course, and the other 19 were English. And for them, it was extremely difficult to teach grammar. It was their mother tongue. They use it perfectly well, but they couldn't explain why they used the grammar the way they used. So they used me in terms of grammar, and I used them in terms of, can you correct the writing just in case, preposition here, there. And it was a very useful experience, really.
As well as intense.
Yes.
And I guess you met a lot of people.
Well, mainly the teachers there. The teachers and the tutor. There were two tutors. But of course there were lots of students and teachers there at International House. But well, I didn't have time to, for social relationships or anything like this.
But as you said before, you found it really useful for your work as a teacher later on.
I think that from then on, I'm able to evaluate my class and to see why a class doesn't run smoothly, or why a class, I have problems with the class, because sometimes you use some activities and they work pretty well with a group and you don't understand why they don't work with another group. So I think the course gave me the tools to analyze and to know. It built up my confidence as a teacher. Of course.
And well, you did the CELTA, but have you done
yes,
any other thing?
Yes, I did many years ago when I was teaching the English extracurricular classes in La Vila. Then I did the young Yes, I think it's the Young Learner Teacher Development course. Because sometimes I felt at a loss, in terms of why these activities work well and not. And it's very different to teach teenagers or adults to children. So I did this course. It was a 1-year course. And I got the certificate too at International House.
Again, International House Barcelona.
Yes, International House. It has a very good reputation.
Yes, I know, because I've done some courses myself as well. And
then I did the EOI too. And
well, sorry, but you said that you were doing this course for children, so you've got experience teaching children,
yes,
adolescents and adults.
Yes, and adults, yes. I started teaching children in La Vila, but when I was a teenager, I had already taught children. I helped them with the school syllabus,
right,
to help them to pass the exams. And I even remember when I was in 5th primary, there was one of those students that starts late, and I remember that it was me who spent the breaks with him to help him to catch up with all the syllabus and with all the other students.
So you mean that when you were a child you also
yes,
felt comfortable
yes,
helping others?
Yes, it's something that I realized when I had to make the decision whether to become a teacher or not, do the CELTA or not. Then I started thinking back and I realized
that you had been doing all this all along.
Yes.
And then you were talking before about, you mentioned the EOI, the Escola Oficial.
Yes.
And you studied there as well.
No, I didn't. No.
Right. But you sat for the exams.
I sat for the exam in Girona, but well, I think at that time I was working as a secretary here.
Yeah, I seem to remember. So, yeah.
And it was Gabi who prepared me for the exam.
Yeah.
At that time.
So for you mainly it was in order to get the certificates and to get
yes,
the proper qualifications.
Yes, and it's very useful here in Catalonia.
Yes, they are, definitely. And I seem to remember that you mentioned you had had an experience as an au pair in London when you were younger.
Yes, I was in my late 20s. I was living in Valencia and I was an employee, and to get the doll I had to do one of the courses they offered. So I went for a 6-month English course there, 6 hours a day, and after half a year I thought, wow, I think now it's time to go to England.
I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's grey and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you, it's Friday.
And I went to Weybridge, it's a residential area.
So you mean that first you did a 6-month course that was it was being offered by the government for people who were unemployed, and then after that you decided to go to London.
To go to London for
where you
6
said
months.
Weybridge?
Yes, Weybridge. It's more about 20 kilometers from London. And well, there I worked as an au pair. I looked after 2 children, and I was attending classes to sit for the first at that moment. And well, it was really a good experience because I could see how useful was English to communicate, to live there.
And would you recommend this experience, working as an au pair abroad?
Yes,
or working,
I would.
Or any other type of job?
Yes, I think it's a good life experience because you are there, you are on your own. You have to make your own decisions, you have to sort out the problems you run into. I met new people there, and I think it was a great experience. Of course, I miss my family and friends, mainly at Christmas time, you know, when most of the students, not all of them, but most of the students go back home. And I was there, and I felt a bit sad, of course, but thinking back, I think it was worth every single minute there. Yeah. I'm sure I grew up a lot.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you that this type of experiences, going abroad, living somewhere else, being on your own, personally I think that it's really good for the person and very positive to get to know yourself better.
But I also think that it's very important. The student has to feel like going, you know, because if not, I mean, it's nothing compulsory.
Yeah.
So it's good that if you feel like doing it, if you feel ready for it, I do recommend.
Okay, my last question was, you decided at one point to become an English teacher, so I guess this decision has influenced your life. The fact that you're a teacher, that you're in contact with other languages, with another culture, well, your studies, the experiences you've lived because of this. How has this influenced the way you live your life and your everyday life?
Yeah, my everyday life, first of all, it has influence in terms of my timetable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we work in the afternoon, evenings.
Yeah, well, you mean because you're working in Ateli, which is mainly an evening school.
Yeah, that's it. It's an academy, so you work when the children finishes school, and the hours are long. Okay, so on one side it has influenced my timetable. On the other hand, you know, I have my holidays are the same as my child holidays, so there is pros and cons in terms of the timetable. Then, well, apart from that,
well, I meant because maybe it's given you more chances to travel, or
so
more chances of meeting people from other countries.
Yes, for me it's very important communication. And when I've traveled, so English gave me the opportunity to share the culture, to understand people, you know, all these experiences. And now I remember once I was in Turkey, and hadn't it been for English, we could have had serious problems with the police, because we had a car accident. And I remember that when the police came, the other driver just reported the things, but the other way around. So then the police asked us to sign the report, and someone translated the report into English. And when I read it, I realized that he was blaming us, and we just refused to sign the report. So, well, sometimes it has helped me to sort out problems and to make friends too, which I'm really grateful.
Of course, yeah. Well, it's been very interesting talking to you, although, well, we've known each other for so long, but I don't think we had ever spoken about your experience as an au pair, or maybe we had, but well, it's a chance to talk about it again. And that's it, this is our interview today, and we'll be seeing each other in no time as we continue working together. So thanks very much for watching us, and well, we will be soon getting our next interview ready for you to watch again. Bye. This has been our second interview. Please stay close to our Facebook, there will be more coming soon, and thanks for watching us. Bye-bye.